Alright, hey, this is De Muerta, and I'm going to be giving a basic tutorial today on Trials SD, since I do not have an HD capture card. So, let's jump to it. So obviously we're going to start in the editor, and right now I'm not sure if you can read, but right here it says simple mode, and this is basically what you start off with when you first enter editor mode. And you can pick things up, with A button. Right bumper, obviously, we'll change this. The axis control. You can also use you're using the triggers to change the axis after you choose which one, X, Y, or whatever. And you can move them around, copy them. So that's very basic. But all right, let's see. Say you want your writer to make a loop. What you will do is you probably want to start off with big ramp, and you just set it nicely on the track, and you can just press it and then press Y. I mean, this is a very simple thing. Obviously that'll send you straight up, but if you want to make a loop and be able to continue on, one of the ways you can do is leave a gap between this jumping area right here. See that? So there's a gap just about the right size for a person to jump through. And what you're going to do is, instead of using large sized ramps, you're going to get the smaller ones. And once you have the smaller ones, you can just merge them right in like this, and just make a simple, like, kind of basic view of what you want it to be like, and we can smoothen it out in a bit. Alright, so that doesn't seem right. You're going to jump a little too high. Let's change that a bit. Alright, and then if you want to test it out, you press start and then A. Now you're in the testing mode. So see, obviously I didn't do it right. What you're going to need to do for this, if something like that happens, the most obvious thing is, move the track up a little. If you really want to fine tune it, you can just keep testing and testing until it works just right. But as you see, you can just make it right through, get to your little finish line. But so that's how to make a simple, like, I don't know what you want to call that. I like calling it the number 9 or the crescent, just because, as you can see, it obviously looks like a number 9, just missing a spot or so. Now let's see. Say you just want to make, I don't know, another one after that if you felt like you needed to do so. It'd be very easy to start off about right here, because you're going to get a pretty big jumping distance off of that. I mean, it probably land about right here. So you can make other ones if you want. You can continue on with them if you really want, and you just are crazy about loops. Then you can just do something like this, so you jump and directly get to another one. This is a lot more difficult though, because hold on. Ah, I see. I'll show you that later. But with this way it's a lot more difficult, because this one you will either have to use a lot of small ramps, or even just using the pieces of wood, which you can do many useful things with these small pieces of wood, and I will show you that in just a minute. Now see, with this, because you're on simple mode, which is what you start off in, everything is very simple. So what you want to do is press start and go down to switch to advanced mode. Click it and exit out. Now you will notice immediately when you press the D-pad, you will have a wider variety of items to choose from. Some things you do not know what they do yet, and I can show you that, and I will. There's effects and explosives stuff, and the giant iron ball. I know someone was wondering how to do this. What you want to do is, also in advanced mode, you control the Z-axis, which is just moving around everywhere. It's not locked onto it. You can lock it on though by pressing up on the D-pad and going down to lock to driving line. But we don't need to do that. To do a ball, what you want to do is put it so it looks like it's about in the middle. Make sure it's just right. Pause it. Go to track settings, and change the style to ball inside and line it accordingly. And now when you test, you should be inside of the ball. Just like so. So with this right here, once you're done with your map, I'll get to this in a while, but once you're done with your map, this is how you choose what you want it to be like. Choose, I want it to people to know this is a hard map, put it in hard or easy, and then if you test it out, you can choose by your own decision, what you want the medal times to be. Probably not something too ridiculous. From this, you can also change the time of day and whatnot, but we'll get to that in a bit. Alright, so now that you're in advanced mode, you're going to see some things like triggers that just don't really make much sense, but I'll show the triggers and all those things. I'll show you how to put really good use of them in my in the next tutorial, the advanced one. For now, we'll just stick to the basics of the game, or at least the pretty basic. Now from here, you can just choose many different items. Probably one of the ones that seems to be the coolest is the where is a nice thing you could do is sorry for randomly changing subject, but you can make signs if you want, like say you have a part where it's kind of confusing, you don't know where to go. You can make an arrow, and if you're like me and you like making things seem more realistic than they are, you can choose single post or whatever you want and have it just holding it up like that. Also, there's scaffolds that you can use. These are mainly just for design, although you can use the plate loop, the plate, and the stairs for items to drive on. Mainly, I just use the scaffold base as so, and you can just copy, move it up, copy, move it up, and do as such with this side or anything else to make it look more like it's like something's actually holding it up. And you can also add other things like train rails. You have to make sure though the white line is on one of the train rails, otherwise you will hit the wooden parts and unfortunately die or fail, whatever you want to choose. But one thing that I think is pretty fun is that you can do is you can have a train tracks I use because they're just the easiest. And let's do something kind of simple. Copy it, move it, put it about right here. If you're not sure exactly where it is on the track, if you click the left analog stick, it actually puts you in a more 3D mode. You see, as you can see, I put it very close to the middle already. So once you do this, if you want to do it just for fun, you can go to giant iron ball and just place it above it. And if you want to make sure something works out, if you see anything that has a red hue to it, that means that the physics for it are turned on, and that basically is when you can test the physics by pressing the back button, which, there you go, press the back button, that's what'll happen. If you press A and up on the D-pad, you can take off the physics in order to just remain wherever you have decided to put it. Just like so. Now, if you have it on something like this, if you just have it on physics, when you drive and within a certain radius, whatever you have selected physics on will activate its physics mode. But right now you could just use that and find out how to time it, and that should get you a pretty good start. But there's also other things such as fluorescent lamps that you could also use to make your environment more interesting. But now you can use them for things just like let's see here, I'm turning down the daylight. Say you make it kind of dark, you can use lights just to obviously project light around the area, and if you really want, you can change the color by going to light properties. So you want a red light, there you go, you got a red light. The last thing for now that I'm going to say is you you can also add these nice little flippers that will hit you once you get near them, or afterburners, which you can't see right now, but they have a little rocket on them. They will make you like shoot fire at the back of the thing to go faster. Bowling cones, all these things, and I'll show you how to do most of these later. I'm probably gonna have a two-part advanced tutorial. It's gonna have all these great things in it. But there's some of the basic tips. I'm gonna be making two-part advanced tutorial after the 26th, so maybe probably on the 27th, or most likely the 28th, because I have a project and my birthday is on the 26th. But I'm going to try to make it as detailed as possible, show you all these cool things so you can make great maps to share with your friends. Alright, thanks for tuning in.